On a beautiful sunny day on a recent trip to Florida, we went into a local Dollar Tree and found these burlap stretched canvases that I had not seen at my local back at home. So I wanted to bring some home and I'm going to show you what I did with them. For the first DIY craft, I'm going to take these two and I'm just going to place them one on top of the other. Now, the little burlap was way too thick on each ends, so I did want to just shave that off, cut it off, so that I can then join both canvases without them being too bulky in the corners, and then that both in the center can meet with hot glue. This worked perfect. So if you're going to recreate something like this, make sure you remove all that excess burlap from the corners. To make it a little bit more tight and secure, I am going to staple it the front and the back using my electric stapler, but if you have a handheld one, you can use that as well. I'm going to use these paint sticks that I get on Amazon, but you can use any paint sticks you have on hand. But I do have these in my Amazon store if you want to check it out, along with other items and supplies that I love from Amazon. I'm going to line the entire piece, including the center, with 2 paint sticks in each. I want the border to be nice and thick, so I'm just going to mark, cut with my wire cutters, and hot glue as needed. Now, I am going to paint the paint sticks. Now, I did not paint them before I applied them because I didn't want to have to paint the entire paint stick and then cut them. So I'm just going to use a cardboard just to kind of keep me not from painting the burlap, and that did really well. Once dry, I am going to very lightly sand it with a 120 grit sandpaper just to smooth everything out, and then of course dust it really well. I want this to look like a little mini door, so I'm going to take this vintage star knob that I got off of an old dresser that I flipped not long ago, and I am going to just drill a hole on the left side of the door, and then I'm just going to unscrew the screw and place it from the back to the top, making sure that it's nice and tight and secure. And I thought it looks so cute. You can use any knob you have at home, of course. This little wreath is actually a garland that I found at Target Dollar Spot. It did have already the wreath kind of shape, so I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'm going to use a zip tie from Dollar Tree to secure it in place. I'm just going to thread it from the back to the front and then back from the front to the back, secure it in the back, that way it's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to cut off the excess. Now you could add something to hang the door from, but I'm not going to use this on any wall, so I'm just going to leave it without anything. I'm going to just arrange the flowers where I want them, and I think this door turned out so beautiful. I love the burlap in the center. I'd love to hear what you think of this one. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to take another one of the burlap canvases and 4 of these little horizontal signs from Dollar Tree. These are so fun to craft with. I'm going to mark where I need to make cuts with my miter saw. If you do not have a miter saw, you can certainly use your miter box to cut these. I'm just going to place those 2 just temporarily so that I can mark where I need to cut the other 2 pieces. Same thing, I'm just going to mark and cut with my miter saw. I attempted to remove the paper from it. It was taking way too long. I did remove the sticky barcode paper from the back, and then I'm just going to sand down the paper as much as I can. And then of course I do want to dust it really well because we are going to paint them. I'm going to use a Waverly chalk pen in the white, and I'm just going to do all sides except for the bottom because it does not need it. Once it was dry, I am going to pre-drill several holes, 3 specifically, on each side of the inside of the canvas. This is because we are going to use screws to tighten everything securely onto what will be a tray. I'm going to attach them with hot glue, quickly realize that I placed the first one wrong, so I removed it, add more hot glue, and then placed it. I'm going to try to snug it as much as I can until it hardens. This is just to give me a little hold until I can get the screws in. So I'm going to attach all 4 pieces, and then I'm going to use small screws that are going to be just long enough to overlap the 2 pieces, and then I am going to tighten them together. I wanted to add some detail to the outside, so I'm going to use some of this white nautical rope from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue it all around the outside of what will be a decorative tray. Now, this is not meant to hold anything heavy. This is just for decorative purposes. I added these little felt pads to the bottom so it does not scratch any surface. And look how cute this looks. Oh, it's one of my favorites from today. So fresh, so beautiful. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to take another canvas, and this one we're going to do some freehand painting. I love doing this every so often, and I'm going to use a combination of different blues and white. I'm going to use this beautiful light blue from Rust-Oleum, then I'm going to move on the agave color by Waverly, then I'm going to move on to the dark blue by Rust-Oleum, and then some white from Waverly. But I'm just going to let you watch as I create what will look like a beach. Friends, I would love to connect with you on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, and I have those links down below in the description box, so check it out when you are done watching. All right, so I'm just going to keep blending the colors to make it look like the ocean, like the beach and the shore. I'm going to add some of the white towards the edge, kind of blending it towards the outside, what will look like the sand. I'm just using my regular brushes, and of course you can blend as much as you want. And then I am going to add some white onto the actual water to make it look like waves. I have to say I'm quite proud of myself on this one. I love how it has that beach look, and it turned out really cool. All right, so it's nice and dry. I'm going to take this ornament. It was like a beachy ornament for Christmas. It had 3 fish stars. I'm going to take the white one and hot glue it right over the sand. Now, I thought it needed some sort of frame, but I didn't want to just frame it regularly. So I'm going to take some of the white nautical rope from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue it all around the 2 sides and the top, not the bottom. And I'm going to give it a little wiggly look so that it kind of looks very relaxed, almost like you would find in a nautical rope on a boat. I think adding the rope really brought everything together, really finished everything off, and it's just a nice detail for the look. This was such an easy project anyone can do. You can do this one as well. I love the way it turned out. It has a very summer, beachy vibe. Love the way it turned out, but I'd love to know what you think of this one. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to take another burlap canvas and this very old reusable stencil I've used so many times. I'm going to stencil it right over it using some Waverly chalk pen in the white. Friends, I know that you love watching video tutorials, but if you love reading crafting blogs, I do have a blog that I post every single week, and it is linked down below, so when you are done watching, I'd love for you to check it out. This turned out so pretty. Now think, if you had several of these and you put them together on a wall, wouldn't that be pretty? I love it. Okay, so I'm going to take the leftover sticks. Now, I know I said I didn't want to paint them all, and I ended up painting them all. I didn't plan on using them, but it worked out really well. So I'm just going to paint these just on one side, again using Waverly chalk pen in the white. And once they were dry, I am going to place them all around the canvas. You can leave the canvas just as is, but I did want to add a frame, so I'm just going to start hot gluing them all around the frame, cutting as needed. I do want to add a way to hang this. You don't have to because you can actually place this right on the wall on the ledge of the canvas. But I am going to add these little eye hooks that I already had on hand. I get these on Amazon, and yes, they are in my Amazon store. I'm going to place one on each end on what will be the top. What we're creating here is an earring holder. I think this was such a smart way to use these canvases. I'm going to add some of these nautical rope from Dollar Tree, tie it in knots. I'm going to cut off the excess rope, and then I am going to have something to hang it from. Again, you don't need this. It's just something I decided to add. I wanted to add a little feminine look to it, so I'm just going to add one of these faux flowers. It has a beautiful pink tone that I think complements the entire look. I poked a hole using my screwdriver, and I hot glued it right onto the upper right corner. I'm going to add some of my favorite earrings right onto it, and I think this is brilliant. I think this would be such a great gift for a girl or a woman with tons of earrings or just a few to place on their wall. I think it's gorgeous. But I am biased because I made it. Let me know what you think. Which one is your favorite? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. That's it for today, my friends. I have another video here for you to watch. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.